Let's analyze together the latest trend of Blue Power. Look at that. We have data from 2000 to today. We have also the logarithmic scale activated and also the support line from 2013, I would say, till today as well. So very interesting uptrend right here, support line. What can you tell us about Enrique? And before that, guys, remember to see the disclaimer right here.
It's a very interesting moment right now, as you mentioned, because obviously this level has been active since 2013 December. You can see it right there. The price corrected right here after an uptrend of more than 1,900%, almost 2,000. Yeah, I think
Wow.
it hit that level. Very interesting. We had another bounce right there where the price started to go up again like crazy. Another 7,400%. Very interesting.
Double
And
wow.
from there, we had this last correction to these levels of more than 96%. You know, this stock is completely crazy, a lot of volatility. When you're looking at the bigger picture, it doesn't seem like that, but we are talking about changes in prices from $70 to 10 cents, more or less. And you know, this level is very important because right now the price has been bouncing again during earlier this year and also during May this month. Very interesting. And also we have this level right here at the upper part, this kind of resistance area that you can see during this minus 96%. The price has been being rejected around that level multiple times, and this last one happened again with a very pronounced wick right there. So very interesting moment. I have a question for you guys. What do you think will happen from here? Do you think we will see the breakout to the upper part and we will reach higher levels again? Or do you think we will see the breakout to the lower part and we will reach lower levels? Let us know below in the comments. Let's start the debate and let's continue.
Wow, look at that. We have a 20-21 risk reward ratio, give or take. I think it's not bad at all. But the thing here is like, okay, it's not a safe bet. You have to think about the probabilities, and the net income has the answer. If you go to the net income of Blue Power, look at the trend we are experiencing right now. We are not in the best moment of the stock. Actually, we are in one of the worst moments. But the thing is here is like, why the stock rebounded a couple of weeks ago? What happened right here, Enrique?
It's a very interesting moment to analyze because we had like the earnings right there and we have multiple information. Let's go to the daily chart so we can see with more detail what happened right there. And you know, the earnings, according to this data, weren't with a surprise, didn't have a surprise factor in the positive sense. They had like a negative one, minus 30, minus 23% and minus 40% more or less. We don't know if this data is accurate because sometimes like the EPS is taken from the extended trading hours or it doesn't take the same price, but it appeared to be negative, and you can see that the gap was to the upside, and from there, you know, plus 76 more or less to the upside,
Boom.
and from there, this big red candle minus 30%. What happened there? I think it's something interesting to notice. Maybe the price was reaching this resistance area that we mentioned that we can see in the weekly chart, and the investors started to sell there, or the pressure was too high, and the price started to drop again. But what do you think will happen when the price visits again the lower part? Do you think it will bounce again, or will it continue going lower? That's a very good question to ask yourselves.
Yeah, so obviously, there are a lot of traders who bought the stock before, and the thing is like they one day they wake up and they see, whoa, more than 76%. It's like it's a good price to sell. But obviously, I have a theory, Enrique. What I can tell you guys is like, look at the net income. Like the previous one, the one that was released a couple of weeks ago, it was actually better than the previous one. In December 2023. But you had to take into consideration the previous year in the same quarter. So if we do that in the previous in the previous year, actually March 2023, we have minus 200 million. This one is like minus, almost minus 300 million. So it's a negative earnings if you think about that. And maybe it's one of the reasons, like, okay, the stock went up because it's better than the previous quarter, but then investors realize, okay, it's better, but it actually was in comparison to the previous year in the same quarter.
It's something interesting to take into account that from the technical side, we are just in the middle of this kind of upside movement and downside movement also. So a key moment to keep watching the stock and see what happens and which direction the market follows, if it goes lower or if it goes higher from here, and then which breakout happens first, I think will be very, very important. Also, let's see the forecast, because for this stock, we have more than 20 analysts, exactly 22 analysts, offering 1 year price forecast for Black Power Inc. The maximum one, the
Wow,
maximum estimate, plus 485%,
very bullish.
$18. Then we have the minimum one minus 35%, $2, and then the average between these 22 analysts plus 57%, 4.83. Very, very interesting data that we have right here.
Even more better is the forecast that we have in the EPS annually and in revenue. Look at that. I
Mhm.
mean, do you see a chart like this and it's completely wonderful. They are telling you, okay, if you buy right now, maybe in a couple of years, maybe in 5 years time, you're gonna have like more than 2000% in performance. But remember, guys, this is only an estimate. Then the reality can be very different. And from the previous data that we gathered, look at what happened in 2020. Like the estimate was minus 0.32, and the reported it was like minus 1.59. 58. So obviously there is a huge difference. So in analysts, I think they are not the best, accurate data to have it in consideration about the future of the company. But you have to study closely what they are doing, and if they are capable of transforming, the investment they are doing into profits.
Yeah, it's a very interesting data to have into account as usual. The more information you have, it could be better or it could be worse. It depends on your trading style. You have to find that for yourselves. But we can comment about it, and I think it's interesting to have that debate. And we will update it. The years when the years come, when 2025, 2026, 2027, we will see this estimate, and we will see. Okay, remember, guys, when we were talking about Plug Power in May 2024, the forecast was this is what happened 4 years later or 3 years later. That would be very interesting. So subscribe so you don't miss that moment and you are with us at that time also. Very interesting. Let's go back to the technical side of this chart that I think it's very interesting. And we can't say anything else right here, so I want to read in the comment section, what do you think will happen first, if the lower area will be reached or the higher one, and then which breakout do you predict will happen? Because it doesn't matter which direction the market takes, because as traders you have to be prepared for everything, but I like to see that kind of predictions and why, and if they happen, we can in the next video comment them.
Yeah, okay, so possible scenarios right here. Look at the support area that we have right here that I drew with just with a squaring with all
Yeah.
these red lines that we have here. So this area I would say is the better one in terms of risk reward ratio. It's the lower part, but it's not the lowest part of 2024. It's the lower part of the last decade. I mean, and that's interesting because a lot of investors probably they're gonna buy in that area as long as the stock doesn't enter into huge and incredible losses. It didn't, like right now it's not in the best moment. It also is
Yeah,
not in
and,
the
and
worst.
remember that the lowest point of this decade was 82 cents. It's
Yeah.
far away from here.
Exactly. So if you go to the long term, I think it's not bad, the stock. Obviously there is a lot of volatility. The last downturn was like, okay, minus 97%. That's a huge volatility, but it happens with stocks with a market cap of 2 billion. I mean, and that's normal. In the downturn that we experienced back in 2014, we're talking about also minus 93%. But look at what happened afterwards. I mean, it went crazy, more than 8,000. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
hell of a trade.
Yeah, I mean, like you can get that trade, but also take into account like the movement from here to that lows of 82 cents is minus 73%. It's not a small amount, but obviously there's also the opportunity right there. I just want to mention both sides because sometimes we are biased and we only see one side, but we have to see both, in my opinion. And in this case, you can clearly see that opportunity, but also the risk involved. So what do you think, guys? Do you think this is a good time to enter at this stock, or would you wait a little bit longer? Because sometimes you wait and lose the opportunity, and sometimes you wait and don't you don't miss. What you miss is the death of a stock. That happened
Exactly.
multiple times also. So both scenarios could be possibly
Risk
like the
reward
best option.
ratio is the best thing you can do. It's like, okay, I can make, I don't know, 20 the amount invested, or I can lose all the money, or almost all the money. I mean, you have to think about that, because this is like a different stock. This is not Apple. I mean, Apple cannot go down minus 95%. I mean, at least not now, but this stock can. So you have to consider both the scenarios and find the best opportunity for that trade.
Yeah, and it also depends on your training strategy. If you have like some strategies that you follow and you want to share them with us, let us know in the comments. And we will also like to make some content related to that, like tech analysis, trading strategies, trading psychology, so we can comment on all those topics. Because sometimes you go for a higher risk reward ratio, as Alvaro mentioned, or maybe you go for lower ones with more, with more win rate, like 80-70% win rate, and the risk reward ratio can be lower. But if you don't have a higher risk reward rate, sorry, a higher win rate, the risk reward ratio should be higher, because if the maths don't work for you, the capital won't grow. That's it.
Exactly. So huge battle coming up between bullish
Yeah.
traders and bearish traders. Look at that. We have incredible downtrend, incredible upside potential also in the coming weeks, months, years. But this stock is gonna be nuts very, very soon.
Exactly. So thank you very much for watching. Remember to subscribe. Let us know in the comments everything you want to share with us and your predictions, of course. We really appreciate it. We like to read all your comments. Thank you a lot. Have a nice weekend. Take care. 2 more videos tomorrow, or maybe just one. It depends. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.